Well, good morning all. Amazing what a good night's sleep can do. Recharges the batteries, we're ready to go again. Looks like we're in for a good day so far, so let's get cracking. The focus for today, now we've got the brassica cage sorted, is over here, and this is the onion bed. Need to move this stuff off. Just a few surface weeds, shouldn't take long to get rid of them. And then we can have a look into the coal frame and sort those out into the different families and groups. So that's cleared the bed up. That didn't take too long actually. What I've done with the stuff as I move it, I really look at it and think, am I going to use it? Because I tend to hoard stuff. And the stuff I'm not going to use, I've started putting in a pile there, which will go down to the local tip. So I'm gradually, but slowly, clearing the allotment of excess rubbish. All that's left on here now, it's looking at it, it's surface weeds. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my trusty Wolf soil tiller and get it to run over. Then once I've done that, I'll just pull the weeds off and we're ready to go. Weeding is probably one of the tasks that most gardeners dislike. With me, it depends on the mood. Sometimes I can find it quite relaxing. Like now I'm doing this, sun shining, got some earbuds in, I'm listening to gardening podcasts, so it does pass the time away. But what I will say is if you are going to weed, do it thoroughly. I see so many gardeners on YouTube and other places just ripping the weeds off at the surface level. And it'll look nice for 5 minutes, and it is 5 minutes, because come the rains, them roots will be growing again, they'll be firing things back up and you'll be back to square one. So for the sake of an extra half an hour, go over it like I've done, especially if the perennial weeds, dig them out, but these are just annuals. So by tilling the top, it cuts them off at surface level. All I do then is just rub the soil, it brings them up, pop them in the bucket, and before you know, you're done. I'm just having a little rest and a drink. This first bed's done now. When I finish weeding, I just raked it over just to level it off. And there's one or two little weeds come to the surface which I'd missed, but if I can't reach them, I'll just leave them, and they'll, when the sun comes out, they'll burn off. Right, start with the second one. That's the second bed all done and dusted. Just starting to rain, which will wash it down nicely, ready for planting out, hopefully a bit later this afternoon. It's nice to have a look around and say, considering yesterday morning, all it was weeded, planted out there's nearly 100 brassicas, and these two beds have been weeded, ready to receive the onions. Time for lunch again, so after that I'll come back out and sort out what we've got to plant. Looks like we're in for some more rain showers again. So rather than be stop start with the onions, I'd rather do them in one go. Tomorrow sounds more promising. But a quick job I can get on with at the moment is try and get the peas in. This bed here is where the cow manure store was. Still like a little layer on the top. So what I'm going to do is dig it in. And then whatever gets planted here, first thing will be the peas. We'll get the feet right into it and away hopefully. So the peas are in there. Put a little central support up wire, and I'll probably end up putting a net over because the sparrows are partial to taking the tips out. Look a bit pale in colour at the moment, but once they get a bit of food down them, I'm sure they'll colour up. Well, good morning all. You join me for an early start on what appears to be a glorious but cool morning. Today we're going to have a full out attack on planting our onions. This is what we have to go at. As you can see, there's quite a fair few here. So I'm not going to hang around, just going to sort them out into the different varieties and get planting. These are what I call my big onions. They're the Kelseys, Robinson's Mammoth, and some Robinson's Mammoth Red. Well, I've sorted the onions out into the groups, and I must say I'm a bit surprised. These have been left in the cowl frame, more or less to their own devices. I fed them about a week ago with a quarter strength of Maxi-Crop seaweed food, and that's it. But I fed some out, I didn't realise how well they'd grown. This one here is the Robinson's Mammoth, and this one here is the Kelsey, and there's quite a few this size, so I'm going to get them out quick. Before I start planting out, I want to show you the root ball on this. This here is one of the Robinson's Mammoth. As you can see, it's got a decent root ball on it, and I'll be giving this a dusting with mycorrhizal fungi before I put it into the planting hole. I'm not sure if I mentioned before, but I did give this bed a top dressing with superphosphates probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that's had time to wash into the soil, ready to receive the onions. I have done a full in-depth guide of how I grow my onions from seed up to harvest, and it's in the playlist called Growing Made Easy. And if you like, there should be a little card coming out the corner. If you want to click that, that'll take you straight to the video. We finally got there. Took much longer than I thought it would. And I'm bushwhacked. I'll just give you a quick rundown of what we got. Looking at them in the middle, they're a bit flat, but I'm sure they'll all pick up when I've given them a good watering in. Anyway, on this side we've got 7 rows, and there's 8 in the row. Those are the Kelseys. Looking at the front here, these are much close together, and these are heat-treated onion sets. 3 varieties there, there's 12 in a row. We've got Red Ray, High Sky, and one called Cupido. Moving into the middle here, we've got 3 rows right at the very back, 8 in the row again. Those are Robinson's Mammoth. And the next 2 rows bring coming forward are Robinson's Red. There's an 8 in the row, and then there's a 6. There's a double holes there, 2 gaps. So then coming forward, these are much closer together. These are the Zabroon. And I've got 2 rows of 12, which are multi-sown, and 3 rows of 12, which are singly sown. And right at the very front, I've got 2 rows, and those are banana shallots again, the red variety called Long Red Florence. Well, it's been a long day. I was going to get the house pipe out and water them in, but I'm shattered. Hopefully it'll rain tonight. If not, I'll do it in the morning. Hope to see you in the next one. I'm going off for some sleep. Bye for now.